In the small, quiet town of Obodo, almost everyone knew everyone, except, perhaps, for Miss Agatha, the woman most people wished they didn't know. She had been teaching at Obodo High School for nearly 8 years, and in all that time, no student had ever seen her smile. Not once. "Here she comes," Uche, a senior student, whispered as she marched past them. "Teacher that never smiles," Amaka muttered, clutching her textbooks as if Miss Agatha could snatch them away. Agatha walked briskly, her face stiff as a wooden mask, her voice sharp whenever she spoke to anyone. Students avoided her. Parents whispered about her. Townsfolk kept their distance. Some blamed her bitterness on her being more than of age to marry. She should have had children by now, the market women often said. Maybe that's why she's always angry. Her landlord, Mr. Okafor, dreaded knocking on her door, but he had to. One hot afternoon, he cleared his throat and tapped. Knock knock. What is it again? Agatha snapped, pulling the door open just enough to glare at him. Madam Agatha, he began carefully, we need to talk about the condition of this compound. You do not sweep when it's your turn. The neighbors have complained. Neighbors, she scoffed. You mean those people who are jealous of me? Jealous of my job? Jealous of my success? Madam, nobody is jealous, he insisted. The dog's area is not being cleaned. Flies everywhere. Smell everywhere. Everyone is complaining. Then tell them to mind their business. He took a slow, steady breath. Please, madam, this is becoming serious. She slammed the door in his face. Inside, she muttered, always looking for someone to blame. They all want to frustrate me. Eventually, the complaints about her behavior reached the school board. Coupled with constant conflicts involving Agatha, arguments with parents, quarrels with staff, tension with students, the board made a decision. She was transferred to another school in a neighboring town. Against her will. When she received the letter, she stormed into the staff room. This is injustice, she shouted. Witchcraft. They're all jealous. All of you. Teachers stared at their desks. No one dared respond. On the morning she was to vacate her apartment, Agatha packed angrily, grumbling with every item she stuffed into her bags. This landlord will learn today, she hissed. She looked around the now empty living room, her anger boiling. Then, in an act of petty revenge, she did something unthinkable. She pooped right in the middle of the living room. When she was done, she stood in the middle of the room, breathing hard. That will teach him, she said under her breath. She locked the door, dropped the key in the landlord's mailbox, and marched off toward the bus station. At the bus station, the sky grew darker and darker. Ah, this rain will be heavy, an elderly woman beside her murmured. I just need one bus, Agatha grumbled. Just one. But when the first wave of rain came, it was a roar. Thunder cracked. Water poured as if the sky had broken open. Within minutes, the entire station was deserted as buses halted service. Agatha stood trembling under a small shelter as rain soaked her luggage. No, 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 she shouted at the empty road. This cannot be happening. Hours passed. The rain did not stop. Night descended. The station lights flickered uselessly. She was alone. Cold. Wet. Stuck. She stared into the darkness, then at her luggage, then toward the direction of her former apartment. No, she whispered. I can't go back. But she had no choice. By the time she reached the building, her clothes were dripping, her hair plastered to her scalp. She knocked, forgetting she had locked the door. Then she remembered. The key, oh no. She trudged to the landlord's window and knocked lightly. Who is knocking by this time? Mr. Okafor grumbled as he opened the curtains. It's me, Agatha said helplessly. You. His eyes widened. What are you doing here? I thought you had traveled. I need the key. The key I already picked up? The key to the apartment you were supposed to leave today. She swallowed hard. Yes. He narrowed his eyes. Why? The rain, she muttered. The buses didn't come. After a long moment, he handed her the key with a sigh. When she opened the apartment door, the smell hit her. She froze. She realized, painfully, that she had done this to herself. Oh, Agatha, she whispered, almost crying. She spent nearly an hour scrubbing, cleaning, and fighting through her embarrassment. The window stayed open despite the rain, letting the air out. By the time she finished, she was exhausted, physically, mentally, and emotionally. She lay on the bare floor, listening to the faint patter of the now light rain. Maybe, she sighed, maybe I am the problem. It was the closest she had ever come to admitting it. And in the quiet darkness, for the first time in her life, Miss Agatha felt the sting of humility. When she arrived at her new school, everyone braced themselves for a monster. But to their shock, "Good morning, students," she smiled. Students stared at her like she had been kidnapped and replaced with a clone. She started joking in class, giving helpful feedback, even helping students carry books. Rumor spread. "Miss Agatha smiles now." Oh, her colleagues were amazed. "She's like normal now," Miss Ifeoma said, mouth hanging open. One morning, a tall, friendly man walked into the school. "Good day," he said warmly. "I'm Mr. Obinna, the new agriculture teacher." Agatha froze. He smiled at her. She almost fainted. Later that week, Obinna approached her. "Miss Agatha, I've noticed you're very kind with the students," he said. Agatha blushed. Actually blushed. "Well, I'm trying." He winked. "It's working." They started having lunch together, then walking home together, then laughing together. One day, Obinna cleared his throat. "Agatha, you've changed. You're a wonderful person." Her face turned tomato red. "Well, I'm trying. And I like what I see," he said softly. Agatha nearly melted. By the end of the term, the entire school knew. Miss Agatha was in love. And soon enough, she wasn't just the teacher who now smiles, but also the teacher who has a very good heart and the willingness to assist her students. By the end of the year, the whole school got the announcement. Miss Agatha and Mr. Obinna were getting married. Students screamed. Teachers clapped. Some fainted from joy. They had a beautiful ceremony. Agatha smiled all through like she was catching up for all the years she didn't. And from that day onward, she became Mrs. Agatha Obinna, the sweetest teacher in her new town. She taught with joy. She treated people kindly. And Obinna adored her endless Mrs. Agatha Obinna, the sweetest teacher in her new town. They lived happily, peacefully, and lovingly, proof that even the teacher who never smiled could find happiness. After learning one unforgettable, smelly, and life-changing lesson. Moral of the story: when we allow pride, anger, and stubbornness to control us, we create problems for ourselves. But when we humble ourselves and change our attitude, our life becomes better, and we attract peace, respect, and even blessings we never expected. No matter how difficult or unpleasant someone may be, change is always possible. A negative attitude pushes people away and makes life harder, but kindness, humility, and self-reflection bring new opportunities. Sometimes the challenges we face, even embarrassing ones, are life's way of teaching us to grow, change, and become better versions of ourselves. You can't live life angry at the whole world and expect happiness. When you change your behavior, the world changes how it treats you. A good attitude can take you farther than pride ever will. And sometimes the biggest life lessons come wrapped in very smelly situations. Thank you so much for watching. If this video blessed you, please don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. And as you go, may God continue to guide you, strengthen you, and surround you with His peace. Stay encouraged, stay prayerful, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless you.